Hello and welcome everyone, it's me MB back with another video. I think we can all agree that Elementalist is pretty much the hottest ascendancy of the upcoming Echoes of the Atlas League 3.13. For this reason, I have revisited one of my builds, which was the Stormcall Elementalist, which I put together pretty late in 3.11. This build, I can promise, will pretty much get buffed, and I show you how it will or how it can properly look like. I hope you enjoy. So as the Heist League has pretty much finished and all the characters have been merged to standard, so did this Elementalist here. It's a level 81 Elementalist with pretty much 8 ascendancy points allocated, and that's all about it. The character has a, let's say, gear put together for 50 to 75 chaos early in the league, because this was actually my league starter. Later in the league I leveled a necromancer and played specters for the first time, and then I never got back. But luckily the ascendancy changes to the Elementalist actually got my attention, and that's why I revisit a build that I have released in 3.11 as mentioned earlier. I will pretty much link the video to the build right in the description, and I'd suggest you take a look at it, because I will in this video I won't go into detail because we do not have all the passive tree changes and skill gem changes and all that kind of stuff. I pretty much think there is actually room for a Stormcall skill gem rework, because GGG already announced that they will rework 40 skill gems, and they will pretty much rework the unused one. And let's just be honest, guys, you did play Stormcall because you think that it looks like crazy shit from the sky, and so did I. I think that Stormcall just looks insanely good. It has never been meta in the last couple leagues, and it has not been played in the last couple leagues. So let's just be honest, this skill is absolutely unused and underused. So GGG has a really good reason to actually rework this skill gem. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Regardless if they rework it or not, I can pretty much show you what you will be able to dish out with this skill, with this setup, with this talent tree. And I will show you that the talent tree that I've put together is a, let's say, a good template for many kinds of Elementalists build. Let's say, except all the damage over time builds, so no ignite builds with this talent tree, but you can pretty much convert this to Crackling Lance if you want to, for example, and Crackling Lance will gonna be reworked, so actually it will get buffed, so keep that in mind. But that's pretty much talking for now. I will go through a tier 11 map. That's the desert map, a red map right about now. You can see my gear after the map, and then I will show you some options and the talent tree and so on and so forth. So let's just start. Well, that was pretty much the map. You could see that the damage pretty much is okay with this gear set right there, and the clear speed was actually okay for a tier 11 map in this early stage, I'd say. But you could see that my golems actually died, and they died quite often, and I took some big hits as well, so my survivability isn't the best at the current stage of this character. But with the gear that I currently have, and I will show you this really quick, I put it together, let's say, for really cheap money. This helmet, for example, it's pretty much garbage, but it has the mandatory reduced Stormcall duration helm enchant. That's pretty much mandatory, you want to have this all the time. I have the Light of the Lunaris and the Shimmeran Tornado Wand. Those two items are pretty cheap. A shitty ring, a shitty ring, a shitty amulet. Okay, it has crit multi and lightning leeched as life, but that's basically it. Some shitty boots, the Darkness Enthroned, with some shitty ghastly eyes and a hypnotic jewel, hypnotic eye, and some shitty gloves. This compared with the shitty 6-link that I got right there. I mean, okay, it is actually not too shitty, but I remember that I bought this one for 15 chaos. So that's basically a little bit more than a divine orb. And this pretty much cleared the map. Further, you can see I have a 2123 Stormcall, which I bought for 5 chaos, and a Spell Echo, level 18, without quality. A Intensify, level 18, no quality. Same with the lesser duration, same Spell Cascade, it's level 19, without quality. Conk Effect, level 18, no quality. I'm not using alternate quality gems at all. So keep that in mind, there is room for improvement, like a ton. Further, my golems, they died because they are underleveled. Level 18 Ice Golem, level 18 Stone Golem, Chaos Golem level 17, and the Flame Golem that I didn't use in the video, 18. Further, my Lightning Golem is level 18 as well. So, underleveled character, underleveled skill gems, still capable of doing red maps. I'd say that's quite solid. So, let's now have a look at the current ascendancy, and the current ascendancy, or the ascendancy before the rework actually, is not really optimized for this kind of character. It has the golem stuff, the increased damage per summoned golem, that's pretty insane, that's good. The increased effect of the buffs from the golems per summoned golem, that's cool, of course. One maximum number of golems, same with Elementalist. One maximum golem and increased effect, but no increased damage. Further, Pendulum of Destruction. If I had to choose, I wouldn't even take it. Pendulum of Destruction in this state is just garbage for the build, because the increased area of effect actually is bad for overlapping areas. I have an explanation on the other video in the description. The mastermind of Discord actually is just taken because of the penetration. That's it. But now, we'll have a look at the rework, and then I can tell you that this build will actually be immensely better. So this will be the reworked ascendancy from the Elementalist, so the reworked Elementalist ascendancy. As you can see, you will get some increased elemental damage, that's quite cool. All resistances is cool, but here is it. 25% increased damage per summoned golem. This is a buff. It has been 20% increased damage before. Further, summoned golems are resummoned 4 seconds after being killed. And this is massive, I can tell you, because now what could happen is the golems die, you actually didn't notice, and then you run with just 3 golems, you lose a lot of buff effect and so on and so forth. With this, they will just be resummoned 4 seconds after being killed, and this is a absolute quality of life buff right there. So further, Elementalist is pretty much the same node. The golems are still immune to elemental damage, but this time with Elementalist and no longer with Leech of the Primordial. But everything else just stay pretty much the same, at least for our builds. Of course, the golems will deal less damage because damage has been nerfed on this node, but that doesn't affect our build. But what really affects our build is this. Bastion of Elements pretty much adds the defensive layer to the build that we never had. I cannot stress this enough. The damage already had enough, the build already had enough damage, but it was pretty much lagging in survivability. And this has always been some kind of an issue, even on a higher budget of the build. But with Bastion of Elements, this pretty much, I guess, the survivability will be insanely good with this. So if I'd have to choose my 8 ascendancy points, I would pretty much go for Elementalist, for Bastion of Elements, and then for Shaper of Storms, because I pretty much think that this will be better than Mastermind of Discord. Mastermind of Discord, of course, has the 25% penetration, but yeah, I'm sure that the shock effect from Shaper of Storms will be better. Further, will the Elementalist ascendancy be better because you get 1 more golem and more buff effect from the golem. So this one is, yeah, that's a no-brainer in my opinion. So it's pretty much Bastion of Elements, Elementalist, and Shaper of Storms. Once the patch notes hit the server, I will update a path of building link in the description, so I'll keep this updated. If some crazy stuff happens to the build, I will make another video and talk through that. So, and to finish the video, I'll actually show you how it might look like when you put a little bit more currency into the build, and I'll show you the character that I was using in 3.11. The character pretty much has been put together for, let's say, 12 to 13 exalted, plus let's say 30 to 35 exalted for the awakened skill gems, which are Spell Cascade and Spell Echo. I'll show you the map right now, and after that I fly over the gear. And remember, I'll put a budget PoE in the description, and I'll put a, let's say, mid-tier to high-tier PoE in the description as well. So check them out, and don't forget to check the video that I'll link in the description as well, which showed the build in the stage of 3.11. Hasn't changed too much by now, but maybe we will get the skill gem rework that we all deserve. It'll be pretty cool. And yes, there's quite a difference between the two budget options, or between the budget options and, let's say, the higher tier option. As you may have seen, I did not have too much trouble completing the map without even dying or being close to die, but that's due to the massive damage and good clear. But you have seen that my golems died as well. Even in this version of the build, the golems died, and this just sucks. And we will get rid of this problem, and that's really cool. So, as promised, I'll just fly over the higher tier version of the build right about now. It is using Shimmerans as well, and it is using Light of the Lunaris. So those two items, super budget, super good, insanely powerful, super strong. Further, I am using a crafted Hybris Circlet with a reduced Stormcall duration enchant. That's mandatory, as mentioned earlier, and it has the +3 to Circlet minion gems, and you will put as many minion gems as possible in the helmet. Further, this has a whooping. Nearby enemies have -9 to lightning resistance. This helmet can actually be crafted relatively easy when Harvest comes back, which it will in 3.13, so this helm is not, let's say, god tier, but it's pretty good. This talisman is pretty insane. Despite the increased area of effect, the enchant was not done by me, or the master craft, the bench craft. Because, as mentioned earlier, due to the overlapping, you do want to have as less area of effect as possible. Watch the video. And further, in Elder Ring, which is pretty good, lightning damage, cost, speed, blah blah, and the Mark of the Shaper, pretty standard. Good pair of gloves with the Unnerve and some faster casting, and some Tailwind boots, a Stygian Wise with just insane amount of life, armor, and resistances. This is a harvest craft this is a harvest craft at its best. And this pretty rock solid chest piece that I have with the chance to gain friendly charge on hit, that's pretty cool. And I'll show you my cluster jewels. And the Storm Rider actually is the notable that will make that if you shock a chilled enemy, you will actually have a chance to gain a power charge. So that's where my power charges come from. And yep, talent tree is pretty much like this, but as mentioned 20 times already, I will link a PoE in the description, so check this out. Okay guys, you reached the end of the video. I hope this wasn't rushed too much together. I made this quite fast, and because I want to actually talk about the topic that the Stormcall build that I have put out in 3.11 actually will be pretty cool in 3.13. So if there will be any skill gem changes, I will absolutely make another video on this topic. But that's pretty much it. And please let me know if you are missing some information. I will put them in the description, or I'll comment directly. So if you have any questions, just leave the comment down below. Like the video, subscribe the channel, and keep yourself updated. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and we will see us pretty soon, I'll promise. So, take care, bye-bye.